Hey y'all. So we were just having a little chat. Welcome to the webinar, and sorry if we started a couple minutes late, but excited about what we're going to be going over with you today. I've got Ralph on the call, the webinar. I've got Massimo on the webinar, and I've got myself. Are you guys there?
Yeah. Hi everyone. I'm Massimo.
All right.
How we doing?
And there's Ralph. And so Massimo is Italian. So I think Massimo, you said you're heading back to Italy tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm flying back to Italy tomorrow. So sorry everyone for my Italy English. If at some point you think what I'm saying is not English, just let me know.
No problem. We'll try to, if you don't understand something, just put it in the chat, and Ralph and I'll,
Awesome.
we'll try to jump in and yeah.
Your
So
ad espresso is in English, though, I see. So it's not Italian after all.
Yeah, we always did it in English. But I mean, espresso, we had to recall the Italian origins in the name.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome.
very cool. So um, I'm excited. Ralph and I are both excited. Um, we've we crap. I signed up for Espresso a long time ago, a couple years ago, and
Yeah,
um, we there over the last couple years there's been so many different changes with the Power Editor and Facebook and integrations with things like Quia and Espresso and some of those types of things. And sometimes we've been missing the boat, I think, when it comes to being able to scale out and optimize some of the campaigns by not jumping in and using some of these software, because sometimes there can be issues with the getting some of the features. But recently, there's been a ton of improvements, I think. I know we've got a couple different clients that are really able to scale things out in a much better way using Ad Espresso. And so I'm excited to see what he's going to kind of show us and show you, walk through not only just capabilities, but mostly just capabilities, but also showing you, exactly, kind of how to do it. So when I say capabilities, I'm talking about things like being able to use automation, right? Using
sure.
rule-based automation to optimize your campaigns, using some flex targeting, which is like that layering targeting that we talk about that you can't do at the interest level, which we'll talk about in case you don't know what I'm talking about right now, which I'll let Massimo show you what I mean. Um, some of those types of things we're really excited about, and they could be freaking game changing, not only in your ROI, but also just saving you time and money. And so, um, Massimo, thanks again for coming on. I really do appreciate it, and we can just
Thanks for inviting me.
yeah, no problem.
Really excited to do this. And for everyone listening, I'm also in the Facebook at University community. So whenever you want to reach out, you can find me there. Just please don't use the community as a support channel for Adespresso. We don't want to to have people always talking about Adespresso. But if you need anything Facebook related or I can help you, I'm always there.
Cool, appreciate that.
Cool.
So yeah,
So maybe I can give for just the new buys a very quick introduction of what's an espresso and why you should use it,
sure.
and also why you should not use it.
Mhm.
I don't like bullshit, guys. I don't like some of our competitors say, "Oh, if you use our tool, you will save 50 hours per week." I don't know how that's possible, but I really don't like bullshit. So first of all, if you spend less than $500, $1,000 per month in Facebook advertising per month, honestly, I will stick with the Ads Manager and I will start learning Facebook advertising with the Ads Manager. I think tools like Adespresso and any other competitors of us are useful when you start to scale your campaign. And that's mainly because of what Adespresso does. We make your life super simple when it comes to testing your campaign. So when you start to scale your budget, probably you will need to test, I don't know, 5 pictures, you want to test 5 custom audiences, and you want to understand what's working, both on the targeting and the design. And of course, if you want to test 5 pictures, 5 titles, 5 demographic targets, that's 125 ads that you will have to create on the Ads Manager one by one. While in Adespresso, it really takes 5 minutes to create hundreds of ads. and it takes 5 minutes to understand the analytics, to understand what's working and what's not working. But the main point is to do experiment to see if a picture is better than the other. You need budget. You are not rolling dices. You probably want to have, I don't know, 10, 20 conversions for each picture that you are testing to see which one is really working better. So until you're spending at least $1,000, probably you don't have a budget to do more than 5, 10 experiments on your campaigns. And you can do that on the Ads Manager pretty easily. As you scale, tools like Adespresso can really boost, save you a lot of time and a lot of money. But final things, and then we can go more practical. There is no tool that is a magic wand and that will make your campaign skyrocket, boost your campaign. It's always up to the marketer. The tool can make your campaign a lot better, can allocate the budget in a smarter way, can save you a huge amount of time, and with that amount of time, you can improve your campaign. But if you don't understand the basic of Facebook advertising, if you don't have the right idea for your campaign, if you don't have the right strategy, your campaign will suck. And there is nothing that the tool can do about that. This is very important, and I see a lot of users missing that. They spend money to do 100 experiments, and then we test the same picture, white background, light gray background. And that's not going to boost your performance. This is the same picture. Make sense, Keith?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And just I'm going to jump in real quick too. And so basically what he's saying is if you're spending at this point 500 to 1,000 a month, the software itself is probably not going to be worth it to you because you just don't have enough budget in there to be able to do testing and stuff like that. It doesn't mean you shouldn't listen. I think even if you're at that point, the goal is to get to a bigger, to get to be spending that much or more. So I highly recommend you listening to this webinar.
Absolutely.
The other thing about Massimo too is Adespresso's got a great blog. They create great content for just not only, and they've got an amazing tool too. They could create great content for educating people on Facebook ad strategies. I mean, Neil Patel just wrote an epic post about Facebook ads, how they've changed the game for them, and I posted it in the group a week or so ago. And like he referenced Adespresso, linked back to like 3 different articles he'd done recently. Yeah, and I mean, totally. And so I recommend following them for that. He's also got a tool that like you can go and you can search images, so you can like. Actually, can you pull that up real quick so people can see it?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to do, and I'm posting the link here in the chat for no, I think I cannot post the link to everyone. Okay, you can post it if you want.
This is public. This is available to public. You don't have to be a customer to get access to this.
Yeah.
Right.
And we have like 5,000 ads as of today, but we are releasing new ads every 13 minutes. And here you can just search. What's your objective? I want to see people promoting event. And you will see Sacramento, 9 this Saturday. So you can see real world Facebook advertising about promoting events. Or you can just do free search. So you want American Express, you just write American Express. And if you are lucky enough, we have ads from American Express. So this is super useful for inspiration. If you don't know what you should test, etc., you just go here and like you check. Maybe Uber probably is one of the biggest advertisers. Yeah, they have 32 ads. You just go here and you say, okay, Uber is testing an illustration versus a picture, and you can try to do the same. So this is super useful tool, and it's totally free, guys. So you just go here on adespresso.com/academy/ads-examples, and you can start searching.
Hey, can I just add something? This is like the most ninja tool. I don't know how you ever did this, but for everyone who's listening, bookmark this. I'm actually trying to put it in the chat, Keith, if you could bookmark it or just throw it in there. It's unbelievable. It's so helpful. I mean, and actually, you can put in your competition, you can put in any type of ad. I mean, I use it all the time, and I'm like, I hope you never do this, but you should pay, people should be paying for this. It's like it's the most unbelievable lead magnet, and put your name and your email address in there and get it because it's really, really good. So.
And in our backend, so we are releasing this gradually, but in our backend, right, as of this morning, we have 41,000 ads, And if you are curious, this morning we released the data analysis on all these ads. So you can go on our blog, and for example, there is a pretty nice word cloud. Yeah. So on 37,000 ads, you is the most commonly used word in Facebook advertising. And I totally agree, because you should make the ad about the user, not about you. So it's a very powerful word, as well as new, free, now, save, etc. But there are many interesting information in this blog post. Cool. So let's move on to some more tactical things about how you should use Adespresso. Make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. So where do we want to start from? We can maybe see some of the advanced capabilities on the interest targeting during the campaign creation.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I think that was a question.
No, I was saying maybe we can start from the interest targeting. So we go through the campaign creation and they reach the interest targeting.
Perfect.
Oh, no, wait, if I want to show the guys one thing that is not available during the trial, and that is really nice, but many of our users have never seen that because they don't go in this page. And probably this is the only feature where that if you need it, it makes sense to use Adespresso, even if you spend a small amount of money. So with Adespresso, you can promote whatever you want. You can create dark posts, or how you want to call them. We have Instagram feed already. And you can promote a specific page post. So you can promote something that is already published on your Facebook page, like you will do with a boost post option on Facebook. But what many of our users don't know is that we have an automatic post promotion option. So if you are like us, for example, we publish new blog posts every day, we post them on our Facebook page, and it's a huge pain in the ass to every day go on Facebook or on Adespresso and have to promote the specific post to our audience. With Adespresso, you can say, hey, I want the tool to monitor my Facebook page, understand when I'm publishing something new on my Facebook page, and whenever there is a new Facebook page post, automatically promote it. And this can save you a huge amount of time.
Yeah.
And you can also filter this thing. So for example, I maybe publish link to Adespresso and also to, I don't know, the Huffington Post for engagement. You can also tell Adespresso, look, I only want to automatically promote link post, and I only want to promote them if they are linking to Adespresso.com, for example. I don't want to spend money to link to a Facebook article or to the Huffington Post. I only want to spend money if I'm linking to my own website. And another strategy that a lot of advertisers use is boosting only the content that works very well. So I publish a post on my Facebook page and I just wait. And if the post organically receives 100 likes, then Adespresso will automatically start promoting. But if the post is not performing very well, it only receives 3 likes, it doesn't make sense to spend money to boost it if we don't have the return that we expect. So this is a really nice feature.
I'm going to jump in real quick. This is a big deal. I did a YouTube video or blog video like a year and a half ago, I think, maybe a year ago or so, about that you should always be setting up a showing people how to set up an automatic, post promotion. So it's promoting their most recent post. But Facebook took that away, and they never had any rules like you have. So it was like, I think that's probably why they took it away, because it wasn't smart enough to be able to only promote, those specific. This is huge. So.
Yeah, this is very nice, and this is the analytics. Once you have set up the campaign, you just forget about it, and then you will see, okay, we promoted this post. You got 2 likes and 0 conversion. Okay, we were not lucky. So you will get all the analytics on every page post that you promote. And this is really, really useful if you are doing a lot of content. Okay, so we saw this. Let's go back to the targeting, which is probably one of the most interesting things. So
Massimo, that's a feature they used to have. I don't know why they got rid of it. That Facebook auto post feature. I mean, this is way better because you can really self-select.
when they removed it, all our users were complaining about, hey, why they removed it? Can you bring it back?
Yeah.
And it took us some time, but finally we made it.
Yeah,
So
that's awesome.
really excited about that feature, and luckily it's very resource consuming for us because of course we have to monitor all the page posts, check the likes, etc. So I always like to show that because it's not available during the trial. It's something that it's only available once you become a customer. Right. So this is where you create a campaign. I won't lose much time about this, but basically instead of creating every ad one by one, you just click plus and you insert another title, or you pick a couple of pictures and we are going to create all the combination. One thing that we have to improve with user experience and that a lot of users don't see is that we have full support for video advertising. So if you want to do video instead of picture and you know how effective it is because you wrote an amazing article on Digital Marketer about video ads, but I'm linking to everyone that is asking me about how to advertise with video. So here you can switch. So let's go back to the pictures. Okay, so landing page. Okay, and espresso.com, we are linking. So you have all the options that you have on Facebook. We just make it super quick. In 1 minute, I created six different ads because we are going to do all the combinations of pictures, titles, blah, blah, blah. You can track with Google Analytics. Go ahead.
Sorry, just to interrupt, because the Canva integration is really awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the reasons why I just said this is just, you've just so improved this. I mean, this is something that we advocate anyway because it's a free service. So it's like right in there. It makes it so much easier.
Canva is amazing.
Oh, it's fantastic. So the fact that you've integrated that into this is just another big, it's a absolute huge thing. So anyway, just wanted to add my 2 cents.
We really love Canva. I mean, it's so useful, and it also gives you access to a lot of stock photos directly inside at Espresso. So I hope that at some point Facebook will open to partner their deal with Shutterstock. Right now, we are not able to get all the stock pictures, but I hope at some point they will.
Yeah.
So you can also pass additional parameters to Google Analytics. So for example, if you want to analyze if male perform better than female on Google Analytics, you can do that. You can track as many conversion pixels as you want. Okay, and let's go to the targeting, which is the most interesting part. So you can always save as draft. Maybe you are missing the OK from the customer, you want to go move ahead. You can just save as draft in Espresso and then publish it to Facebook later. You can save and load audiences. And then, okay, here we have the usual options that you all know. So I won't spend too much time here. You can target geographically. You have all the options. Home type, property size, square footage, whatever you want. Remember that unluckily some of these options are only available to United States, but I know that Facebook is trying to expand these as much as possible.
Right.
Okay, and back to the targeting. So let me clean this because I was doing a webinar before and I think I added some custom audiences here in the targeting. Okay. So interest targeting, which is probably the most common and widely used targeting option. Now, when you target by interest on Facebook, what you are doing is this. Let's say that we want to target hardcore sport fanatics. And that's 13 million users in United States. Actually, it should be bigger. Probably have some other custom audience selected. Anyway, we are targeting 13 million users. And what this means on Facebook is that you are targeting people that like either Adidas or Nike. And that's extremely generic because maybe I clicked like on Nike 6 months ago out of chance because I just liked they were running a contest. So I'm not really targeting hardcore sport fanatics. What you can do in Espresso is tell Espresso, hey, I want to target the intersection. I only want to target people that like both Adidas and Nike. And you can see that we went from 13 million users to 4.2 million users. This is a much better audience. These are people that like both brands, and I can also throw in another one. So, and we go down to 1 million. These guys really, really, really like sport brands. So this is the right targeting for me if I was selling a sport-related product. But we had these for a while. What we recently introduced to make it even better is that now you can create groups.
So I'm
you
gonna
can target.
real quick. I'm gonna jump in and just real quick,
Sure.
just in case for newbies out there. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna take the screen just for 1 second and
Okay.
give it back to you. And let's see here, attendees. There it is. So I'm gonna take the screen. Make presenter. Yes, and I'm going to show my screen, but that's the wrong screen. So let's go to this one. Now, if I go in here into the ads manager, power editor, doesn't matter where I'm at, and I put in Adidas, the audience here is 8.1 million, right? Watch what happens when I put in Nike. It gets bigger, right? So now Nike, it's targeting people that like Adidas or Nike. So that number went from 8 million to 21 million. There's no way I can just target somebody who likes both of these in the ads manager at this point. The only way you can do like kind of layering targeting is if you have somebody that likes Adidas and then has a certain behavior. It has to be like in a different section in the ads manager. Then you can target somebody who likes Adidas and also drives a recently purchased a new motorcycle. But you can't do that at the interest level, which is huge. And so this is where one of the best features that at Espresso, they've had this for quite a while. But so I just wanted to make that clear, and then I'll give that back to you and give you the screen back.
Yeah, I really love this feature, and in some cases it's super effective. Let's say that you want to target, you're selling discounts for sailing course, for example. So what you could do is, for example, target people that like Groupon.
And I just gave you the screen back. You just have to accept it. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. So you could target people that like Groupon and that like sailing. But the big problem is that with Facebook default targeting, you are targeting probably 20 million users that like Groupon, but they like Groupon for restaurants. They don't care about sailing, they live in the country, and they will never buy your product. With this kind of targeting, you can only target the intersection of people that like Groupon, so they like the deals, discounts, and they like sailing. And this is super effective. And yeah, the way we made it better recently is this one. Now you can create groups. So you can target the intersection of people that like Adidas or Nike and people that like Reebok or Puma, which is amazing. And you can also exclude an interest. So if I'm selling shoes for running, tennis, etc., but I'm not selling stuff for swimming, etc., I can target all these interests, but exclude people that like swimming, for example, and people that like whatever, water polo, whatever it is.
This is huge. This is huge because this is one of the negatives to this and relation targeting was that your audiences can get too small, and so you're like, and now that you can target a group of people that are similar, like Nike's, Adidas, Reebok, and all these different products, and then you can have an and relation that maybe it's something slightly different, right? So maybe it's like you said, that you put all the big brands in there, and then they also like Groupon, and so now you have this kind of we also call this right angle targeting, but now you can make the audiences bigger and still do this, because that's this way we know if the audience is too small, you can't sometimes benefit as much from Facebook's optimized bidding algorithm. It usually does better when you get fairly larger audiences, and now you can get just laser target audiences. And I love the negative laser targeted audiences, but also large enough. But I love the negative exclusion too. So this is pretty money.
Yeah, that's exactly why we made this improvement like 1 month ago. The problem was the audience size, because if you will target just Nike or I don't know, Social Media Examiner, and then you intersect it with Adespresso, the target will be super, super small, and it's not effective with Facebook optimized CPM. Well, in this way, you can group together things, and you can have a really good targeting, but still reach that 500,000, 1 million audience that you want to use for optimized CPM. Cool. So that was it for the targeting, and we are adding these capabilities also to other fields. So in the next couple of months, you can expect to be able to do this intersection exclusion on everything: behavior, custom audiences, advanced demographics, and so on. We are working on this right now. And another sneak peek of what we are releasing a thing that basically I've never seen on the Power Editor, etc. You know that you can create custom audiences out of video views, but actually there is another way of targeting which is called engagement targeting. And even without creating custom audiences, lookalike audiences, etc., you can tell Facebook in the targeting here in this page, I want to target everyone that viewed this specific video. And even if you never promoted that video, you can target people that organically viewed that video. This is super nice, and I think we are releasing this next week.
Okay, so explain that a little bit one more time, in case I think there's confusion a little bit.
Let me see if I can find a screenshot actually. So you can target people based on the engagement that they had with your elements, with your object on Facebook. So you'll be able directly from Adespresso to say, I want to target everyone that viewed my video. I don't know if that's a bit more clear, Keith. Let me find the screenshot because that's going to be
sure. And if we can't find it right away, we can try to find it afterwards and during the Q&A too.
Yeah, because I'm totally not finding it right now. Okay.
Yeah, no worries.
So this is coming next week, and next week we are also releasing lead generation ads, which are really, really, really nice.
Oh, cool. We were just talking about that on our my high level coaching, my Navigator coaching program, which is a small group calls I had right before this. We have every Wednesdays at 11 Pacific, and there's a small group of us that get the one-on-one and stuff. And we were just talking about the lead ads are now showing up, and it's I think going to be another game-changing thing with Facebook. So.
Yeah, potentially it's huge. I think they still have to improve a bit on how you gather the leads that are coming from the ads. But I was running a couple of campaigns this week, and it's performing pretty good. I'm really excited about that.
So in case you don't know what those are, these are ads where people can literally opt in right in the news feed. So they can they can opt in right on the ad itself.
And they don't have to fill in any information because Facebook will automatically precompile everything with your Facebook name, email, etc. So it's a very fast conversion for the user.
Yes, they just basically say yes. And the question is this the one question? This could be interesting. We were just talking about is how to move those people to your CRM. I don't know if you guys will have an integration. Maybe something like Zapier or somebody will have some kind of an integration to automatically, because I assume you're just going to get a list that you can download or what?
So right now you will have a CSV file with all the elements. Then Facebook has some API, even though I don't know why they are asking partners like Adespresso not to use it for privacy. They would like email not to be visible to us. But if you are a page admin, you can get all the email from there. So it will be pretty easy to write code and do integration. But actually, the other thing that I know they are working on, which is the one that I'm really looking forward to, is just webhook. So when you create your lead generation ads, you'll be able to tell Facebook, hey, every time I receive a lead, just post the data to this page. And that's basically also what Twitter is doing with their lead generation ads. And I think in that way, you'll be able to automatically integrate with 90% of the CRM without any custom code.
Okay.
This is totally beta right now, so I have no idea when it's going to be released to the public, but I know that they are working on this.
Okay, cool. And it's something that Ralph and I got our first call with we just landed a new, I should have probably mentioned this at the beginning, but we landed a new Facebook partner manager, which we're really excited about. It's like it's a new division that they just rolled out. Only a handful of business owners have one. It's different than an agency manager. It's like a partner. So they're working with us not only with our clients, but also on how to educate people the right way about Facebook, which Facebook has never really been open to doing much of partnering with people like
Yeah,
us.
congratulations. That's huge.
Yeah, no, it's really huge. We're really
Exactly.
excited. So he's like, this is something that we talked to them about like 6 months ago when we were there, and it was like in one ear and out the other. They didn't even want to hear about it. And now they basically want to help us educate people about Facebook and work with our clients. It's a combination. It's like he told Ralph and Molly when they were in the office that only a handful of people even have one of these reps yet. So
Awesome.
super excited about
Yeah,
that.
I think they try to do some training themselves
The
with
blueprint. They called it blueprint.
yeah, but I think they realize they need some external help.
Exactly. No, that's exactly when we talked to them last December. They said we tried to tell them that we had Molly with us, and she's, we have a really big, they have a bigger reach than I do, digital marketer, obviously, and she's like, we have 500,000 on our list, blah 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 blah, and they were just like, well, we have this new blueprint thing that's just rolled out, and they didn't even want to hear about that because they were just rolling that out. Well, they've completely done a 180 since then, and now they see us as leverage points, so that's exciting.
Awesome. Yeah, they are pretty smart. They screw up a lot of things, but usually they quickly realize what they are doing wrong, and they are pretty fast to correct the course.
Yeah. Interesting. Very okay. Sorry.
Awesome.
Keep her moving.
Sure. So you have created all your targeting. I'm targeting Italy, United States for custom audiences, etc. If you do that on Facebook, then you will know that you are spending $5 for a conversion, but you will not understand why. And with Adespresso, with just one click, you can create 10, 20 different ad sets, and we are going to create ad set to test every aspect of your targeting. So you just say, hey, I want to test custom audiences and location and placement, and boom, we have created 96 ads in 2 minutes. Cool. So budget, of course, there is nothing to say here on the budget except when you are split testing, is what I said at the beginning, allocate some budget to each experiment. This is the most common error that I see with Adespresso. People get excited because they can create 200 ads in 5 minutes, and then they don't have a budget to run the experiment. They set up 200 ads with $10 budget. And you are never going to have reliable data out of that. So the fact that you can create 200 ads doesn't mean that you should create 200 ads. That's really up to your budget. Here I've created 96 ads. I want to have at least $200 budget per day, for example. And before someone asks, no, there is no formula to really understand what budget you should allocate based on the number of experiments. It really depends on your industry. If you're promoting BuzzFeed like blog post and you get website click for pennies, probably $1 per ad daily, it's fine. If you are selling enterprise stuff and you have a $100 per cost per conversion, you will need much more budget. But try to allocate a budget where you can have a good amount of conversion for each experiment that you are running.
Perfect.
Okay. Yeah, and the nice thing about this page is, okay, when we created Espresso, you could create all these ads, and then we tell you, okay, you can optimize it like this. Now you no longer need to do anything because we will do it for you. And you have two options to optimize, to have Espresso optimize your campaign. One is the automatic optimization. So if you are a beginner, if you just want a generic optimization, which works incredibly well, you select automatic optimization. And from this point on, Adespresso will analyze your campaign every day and it will optimize it. So for example, let me show you this campaign, not this campaign. I want to see this one, which is for lead generation. So you can see here, every day there are 5, 10 different actions made on this campaign to make sure that we are getting the most out of it. For example, Probably yesterday, Italy was working pretty well, and the budget was increased from 1.9 to 2.2. The same for UK. UK probably was not working. It went from 3.9 to 3.25. And you can see there are all these actions. There are ads that got stopped, bids that were changed. So with the automatic optimization, you can really get a big boost in performances because AdEspresso will automatically understand what's working, what's not working for you, and take action. The things that you need to know about our automatic optimization is usually for the first couple of days, we won't do anything. We will just gather data so that we are sure of the optimization that we are going to do. So if you have a short time frame campaign that is only going to run for 24 hours, very likely the automatic optimization won't do anything to that campaign and is not the right, the right option. And the other things that you need to know is that we optimize based on what you have created. So if you are targeting, if you are split testing Italy and United States, that's something that we can leverage to optimize the campaign. If you are testing 5 pictures, we are going to use that to optimize it. We cannot, of course, optimize things that you are not split testing because there is no ad set to modify to improve the campaign. So if you don't apply the automatic optimization to a campaign with just one ad and one ad set, because there is not much that we can really do except stop it if it's super expensive. Make sense, Keith?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things just real quick to recap. So if you just want to try to run something for like 1, 2, or 3 days, let's say you got a webinar coming up in 2 or 3 days, then optimize CPM is probably not the best thing to do, and right is what you're saying. If it's a short-term period, because Facebook doesn't have time to gather the data, which kind of goes along the same things as if you were on one of the last webinars or watched my a recent target audience video that we have rolling out with all the new, I've got a bunch of new trainings I'll be rolling out in like 2 or 3 days, by the way. But I talk about in order to really take advantage of Facebook's optimized algorithms, okay, they're optimized CPM, conversion-based bidding and optimizing. You have to have larger audiences. So you have to realize where you're at. And so if you're in the very beginning phase and you're just trying to discover new target audiences and they're going to be really, really small, then you might not be able to really take advantage of that well. So you kind of have to realize what situation you're in at each time. And so you can't just be like, here, I've got a 50,000 person audience and I want to run this for 18 hours, optimize bidding. Well, what's going on? Why aren't you optimizing it, Facebook? It doesn't work that way, right?
Right.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's up to you, but it's algorithmic optimization. So if you don't have a lot of conversion, you just have one, Facebook OCPM will never have enough data to understand what they should optimize, what's the kind of user that you like. So you can actually go here in AdEspresso and say, hey, optimize for website clicks instead of conversion.
Perfect.
Or Teespring, it goes viral very easily. You could optimize for post engagement, so get the most out of the likes. And yeah, and what I was saying is that on top of the OCPM, there is also our optimization, and the same rule applies. So if we don't have enough data, you will not get the most out of it in the first couple of days. So 2 options to optimize with AdEspresso. Automatic optimization, we do everything. We update our algorithms every day to make it more effective for you. The other option is that you create your own rules for optimization. So you have a pretty clear idea of how you want to optimize your campaign. You just tell it to AdEspresso, and AdEspresso do it for you every day. And let me show you. So it's extremely simple. You just say, okay, I want to create a new group of rules, and we are going to call this the medium. Okay, now I want to create my first rule. This is super simple. If my ad has a CPC greater than $1, for example, or which I like the most, if an ad has a CPC 50% higher than the campaign average, I prefer percentages over absolute values because then I can apply the rule to every campaign, no matter if it's lead generation, sales, traffic, etc. While if I insert, if the CPC is greater than $1, that's really specific for, I don't know, lead generation.
Right.
And you can do anything. So if you don't like the CPA, you can do the CPA. So if an ad has a CPA greater than 50% the campaign average, and we can mix together, we can create multiple filters, and the campaign has reached more than 20 conversions. So I'm not going to stop an ad just because the first conversion was expensive. I'm telling AdEspresso, look, wait until the ad has at least 20 conversion, and then check if it's too expensive. And at this point, I can say, okay, stop it if it's too expensive. And you can select that you want to apply this rule every day, every couple of days. Soon we will also release optimization every hour if you want them, based on the last X days of data. Now, this sounds boring, but this is very important. Usually, this 50% for how many days? So if on average this ad has been 50% more expensive over the last 7 days, and usually here I like a value between 7 and 5 days, because you don't want to stop an ad just because maybe it didn't perform well for a single day or maybe during the weekend. You want to base this decision on a good data sample. So at least 5 days. Make sense, Keith?
Yeah, no, great. And that's another thing is people a lot of times are really wanting like rules of thumb and like recommendations, even though every industry is different. But yeah, like so basically what you're recommending, but knowing that every industry and ad account is different, at least using like 5 days of data, and
Yeah.
not trying to do that after like 1 or 2. So
Yeah, because the big risk is that if you create this rule based on just 1 day of data, maybe you get the bad day, a Sunday where everyone is going to the seaside having fun. They are not on Facebook, your performance is drop, and this rule will basically stop your campaign. It will stop all your ads and they will remain stopped. So before you stop something, you want to have a good sample of data. So with this rule, you can stop an ad. And okay, we like it. Another rule that usually I like to create is based on the frequency. So when the frequency goes up, your performances will go down, no matter what. And you can just say, okay, if the frequency is higher than 6, stop the ad. And I can create this other. But let's come to the rules that I like the most. And they are the rule on the ad set. Here you can say that if an ad set has a CPA, which is, let's say, lower than $1, then I can increase the budget. And this is much better. I really don't like stopping an ad. If it performs very poorly, okay, it's fine. But otherwise, it's much better that you play with the budget of your ad set.
yes,
Allocating the budget to what's working and removing it from what's not working.
exactly. So that's important. So I might have you repeat that again. This is an important thing that we've learned a lot. And in Facebook, a lot of times, if you have something that's even when, and I'd like to get your take on rotating stuff, because what we've found that a lot of times it can take a few days for something to settle in to a good cost per click, per conversion, whatever it is. And if you pause a campaign, like we have a client that does these weekly perpetual webinars, right? Teleseminars, and he would want to like pause the campaigns for 2 days and run them again, because that's how it kind of would work, right? And we would like, if we can just lower the budget to like $5 per ad set, it's way better off, because it maintains that performance. Otherwise, you're starting over every time, the costs kind of go up. And so like that's when it comes to ad rotation, I just had a call with a coaching client like 2 days ago and yesterday, and we were talking about this, and she was going to rotate some of her ads, and I said, for right now, just lower the budget to like $5 instead of pausing them. That's almost like rotating them, because they're just really low, because that way you're not going to have to unpause them. Like say you want to bump them up again in a month, you're actually just going to increase the bit budget. Is that what you're kind of recommending?
Yeah, we are totally on the same page of that. I never recommend stopping ad set or campaigns. Facebook is not yet 100% predictable. in the advertising side. And when you stop ads or ad sets, you never know what's going to happen when you play them again. So it's much better to play with budget rather than totally stopping an ad set. It's way better. Also with day parting, with Adespresso, you can say, hey, I want to run my ad from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a feature that we have because users were asking for it, but from the data that I saw, 90% of the time is not having any effect on the performances of your campaign. And it could actually be bad because we stopped the campaign, we restarted.
Right.
It's not very good from my point of view.
Yeah, a lot easier if you can automate the process using something like this instead of doing it yourself.
Yeah, of course.
So,
And the other good that you can do with rules and that we will never do with our automatic optimization. If you say that the budget of your campaign is $100 and our automatic optimization will never make your campaign spend more than $100, which of course is great that you are not overspending money. But there are some cases where you want to spend money. So if my ad is bringing me an Espresso subscriber or less than $1, hell, I want to double the budget every day. And with the rules, you can do it. If an ad set has a CPA lower than $1, increase the budget by 100% every day until it reaches $1,000. So this is much more powerful because you can really keep increasing the budget of your campaign as long as the performances are within the limits that you are willing to pay.
and this is important too, because what we've found is that it's increasing budget on a good campaign is you have to be careful doing it too quickly. So we've seen, and sometimes if you increase the budget more than even 50%, your cost per conversion can go up pretty quickly. So we've seen some cases where it's can be faster to like duplicate an ad set, or if you can automate the process like this, and maybe you decide it's 50%, maybe you decide it's 30, maybe you decide it's 75, maybe it's 100, maybe it depends on your industry. But the point is you don't want to go from, if you're spending like $20 a day on an ad set and you're like, oh my gosh, my cost per lead's $1 and everything else is $6. You don't want to just go from 100 or $20 a day up to like 400. It'll throw things off. You got to increase it slow.
Happen all the time, and you would also be very lucky if Facebook actually managed to spend all the budget
right.
when you do these huge switches from 100 to 10,000.
Right.
So yeah, increase slowly. And the last feature that I want to show you here on the automated optimization is this one. So with what we saw before, you can increase or decrease the budget. With this optimization rule, you just redistribute the budget. So you say, okay, my overall budget for the campaign will remain the same, but I want to move 20% of the budget to all the assets that are performing so well, while removing the budget from the assets that are not performing this well. And this basically will just reallocate the budget of your campaign. And you can be as aggressive or conservative as you want. So you may want to do small movement of 5%, or you want to make big changes of 50%. So once you have saved all these rules, you can just go on any campaign in Adespresso and you can just say, okay, I want these rules to be applied to my campaign. And you can do this even for campaigns that you imported from Power Editor, Ads Manager, whatever. It doesn't need to be a campaign that you created with Facebook advertising, with Adespresso, sorry. Cool.
That's pretty awesome. Massimo, just a question for you on scaling up. Like
Sure.
Keith said, what's your, I mean, you on that example, you increased by 100%, which we found hasn't worked quite as well. I mean, what's your window or your threshold? Do you do it on a really small incremental every single day kind of scale up with budget, or what's sort of the maximum amount that you would recommend?
I will probably not go above 30% per day. Then it also depends on the kind of problem that you're having with scaling, because there are two different problems. One is keeping the cost per conversion decent, and of course it will always go up. The more you spend, the more you will have to reach a broader audience that is less focused, and the more your CPA will goes up. So expect your CPA to always increase as you scale your spending. But I would say probably increasing by 20–30% per day. It's reasonable. It's something that could work pretty well. The other big issue that we see, and lately this is a huge issue that everyone is complaining about, is not being able to spend the money. I have customers that are telling me, hey, we have a $2,000 per day budget. We are spending $200 per day. And that's another very common issue. And there, I mean, increasing the budget even further is not going to help. There you have to think different strategies, like you were saying, probably creating another asset or creating another campaign or increasing the bid, but I'm not a huge fan of playing with a bid on Facebook unless you are paying CPC or CPM. But when you use the optimized CPM, it's a black hole. You don't know what Facebook is doing on the background, and I don't see big changes based on the bid. I don't know. What's your experience with that?
With bidding, with manual bidding, or with manual bidding, you can squeeze it down over time, I found, but you kind of reach a point where all of a sudden you squeeze it down too much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all manual. That's the issue. That's the reason why we like this, is that let's say you're getting 67 cents per click. You might want to set, and you're on optimized for, get the most clicks at the best price. Then you would come in. I mean, I would typically go about double that, like $1.27 or $1.30, or like somewhere in that range, and then set it, and then watch it for a couple of days, and then you typically within those last 2 days after you go for a manual bid, you see that CPC come down. So, but and you can do that over the course of 3, 4, 5 days. It's all manual. I mean, with this, it's much easier.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, with most of our customers, it's all about a conversion. So the CPC doesn't matter quite as much. I mean, I could be spending $5 a click if I wanted to, if I'm getting the cost per lead that I'm looking to get. So that's why this is. And I know we had a couple of messages back and forth about like the API call working and getting burned on other sites and all this other sort of stuff. When you spend, you thought everything was set up, and all of a sudden you're blowing through your spend at $50 cost per lead when you wanted to get only $5 cost per lead. And that did happen to me a couple of weeks ago, which I commiserated with you about. But I find that manual bidding, you can definitely do it, but it just takes a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
If there's a way to kind of set it and have it be optimized on its own, that's way, way better.
So yeah, as you can see, you can also play with the bid. So you can also create rules that will increase or decrease the bid by X%, for example. So cool. And last thing that I wanted to show you, another feature that many users didn't notice, is that we have introduced the editing of the creative of the ad. So if you don't like the feature, you want to change it, in my case, usually I publish an ad and then I'm like, oh fuck, there is a typo. Being Italian, I basically write typo in everything.
Hey, you're not the only one.
Yeah. So now you can change it. But the big issue is that we are split testing. We are creating 100 ads. And if I have the typo, probably it's on 100 different ads, which is super time consuming. And again, we try to make things super simple. So the usual case is like Facebook rejected your 10 different ads because of the 20% text rule. Very common problem. So you can just click on editing of one single ad. We change the picture to the new one, and we tell AdEspresso, okay, proceed. And we made it smart enough to understand what you are trying to do. So it will tell you, look, you want to update only this ad, or we detected that you are using this picture in 13 different ads within this campaign. So if you want, with one click, you can correct all the 13 ads that have the wrong picture or that have the typo.
Cool.
Yeah, this is another one that is really saving you a lot of time. So I don't know, it's an hour. I think we cover some of the most interesting feature of AdEspresso. The other one probably is tags. You can add tag to your campaign so you can see group statistics for your ads. Did we miss something, guys? We want to do some question and answers.
Yeah, one thing I want to cover, and I was muted for like the last like just 2 minutes for a second, but is the issue with too many ads in an ad set. So what's your kind of take or experience or on Facebook's automatic kind of optimization? And one of the issues that has always been an issue and still is, and just not as much as it used to be, but when it comes to if you have too many
Yeah.
ads in an ad set and you're trying to test creative, um,
Facebook
you're
will
not getting
pick one immediately. They are super aggressive in saying, okay, we like this one and we are going to spend all the money on this ad,
right.
and the experiment is not reliable.
Right, exactly. So like what do you kind of suggest? Like what's the maximum amount of ads in an ad set, or do you suggest using the ad set to split test a lot of this stuff? Or what?
So that's pretty tough.
Yep.
Facebook 2 weeks ago, no, 3 weeks ago, but I still don't have enough data on that. They say that they understood they had this problem, and they say that they change slash they are changing their algorithm so
Yep.
that they will have a better distribution of the impression in the first days, so that everything gets tested. Uh,
Okay.
Honestly, I've not yet seen that. They still seems to be very aggressive in picking one ad that they like and then going nuclear on that ad, spending all the money over there.
Right.
What
Go nuclear, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but on the other side, they tell you that the best practice is that you test the targeting on the ad set and you test the picture design element on the ad. What we do with Adespresso, and that's one thing that is totally not clear, so maybe it's useful for the user, since we remove all the ad set complexity and we create the ad set ourselves. Uh, if you are testing both the design and the targeting, we are going to split test the targeting at an ad set level. So one ad set for male, one ad set for female, etc. And we are going to test the 5 picture within ads inside the ad set. And if you fall in this case, I would recommend you to not test more than 5, 6 different elements. So maybe 3 pictures, 2 titles, that's probably already enough.
Yeah. No,
But
yep. I usually say no more than 3 or 4 just to be safe, and sometimes
yeah,
1 or 2 usually just to keep it simple. But I think if you're using something like Ad Espresso, I think it's worth doing more than 1 or 2 because I think if you're at that 4 or 5 or possibly 6, just to be safe, maybe I would just go 4 or 5. But then you're going to be pretty okay with getting impressions across
yeah.
those. But can you maybe I want to hit this a little bit further, so because this is maybe explain that again or show an example how. So did you just say that you'll right now, if somebody wants to use Ad Espresso to test a different image um, and different ad copy, as well as different targeting and demographic stuff, but let's
Mhm.
just stick with the creative for now. Do you split it up at the ad set, or do you give them the option? Or
So we are not giving them the option right now.
right,
We will add this in the future.
okay,
Right now, if you are testing both the designs of a picture and the targeting, we'll follow Facebook best practice. So
okay,
multiple ad set to test the targeting, and we will test the creative inside the ad set. So for example, where we go, we are testing the country, and we have an ad set for the country, and we are testing the different picture within ads inside the ads. But since we know that there is this huge problem about Facebook picking one ad, if you create a campaign and you only test the design, so you test 5 pictures, 5 titles, 25 different combinations, and you don't create any experiment on the targeting, so you create your audience, but you tell Adespresso, I don't want to test anything. In that case, we are going to create one ad for each ad set. So you are testing 5 pictures, and that's everything that you are testing in that campaign. We are going to create 5 ad sets with 1 image in each one.
perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna take the screen for a second,
Sure,
and
that's cool.
just while you're talking about this one thing, because it's really it definitely can be confusing. So what he's talking about here, and feel free to jump in. Can you see my screen? Hopefully everybody can see the right screen.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So is this right here? This is basically when he says best practices. Facebook's best practices tells you to create the campaign based on what your objective is. Link, post, ad, website clicks, website conversions, video ad, whatever that is. And the ad set level is going to be where you're going to set your budget and your schedule, of course, but also is how you're going to be separating out your target audiences, placement like mobile. We usually like to separate mobile compared to desktop. You might combine those initially, but eventually separate those out. And then at the actual ad level is where you're going to be testing your creative. So you're going to be split testing images and split testing ad copy. And this is what when Massimo says Facebook best practices, this is how Ad Espresso is set up right now. And so if you're going to do ad creative testing, don't put any more. I'd just say to keep it simple. Don't put any more than 4 in one ad set. But I have seen some where there was 6, and they were fairly evenly distributed. We've seen other ones where they weren't even close. One ad was getting all the impressions. So Facebook, it sounds like, really is working on improving this, and I think they are. We just don't know how long it'll take. But right now, if you're using Ad Espresso, that's how it's going to work. So did I explain that? Does that make sense?
Perfectly. Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. So, if you're at a point where you want to do things manually and you want to use the ad set level to test different, images and ad copy, you can do that, but you've kind of got to do it manually, and that's like a whole different strategy if you want to test something like that. But if you already know your audiences and everything like that, but if you're using a tool like Ad Espresso, and I'll give you back the controls in case we want to ask any specific questions, but if you're using something like Ad Espresso, it's great because I think you can automate and rule-based, create so many rules to be able to saving you so much time and things like this. And so you can learn a lot pretty quickly. You don't necessarily need to have a lot of different ads inside of an ad set. You can create more ad sets and do that, and you can get data quicker, right?
Yeah.
So.
And one of the nice features that we want to do moving forward is integrating our ads gallery with our campaign process, so that while you create your campaign, we'll detect the keywords, etc., and show you in real-time examples of similar ad to the one that you are creating. That will be awesome.
Wow, that'd be very cool. Oh, the other thing I meant to mention earlier too is that if you're interested in trying out Ad Espresso, Massimo, I think, is going to have a link or something that people can get a discount.
I sent it to Ralph right now.
Okay, cool. So you can definitely, and we can put that in the link pretty quick here, if you want, and we can go over some questions. Because I know people are asking, people are excited. I love Ad Espresso. They're loving what they're seeing here. So, okay, so Graham's got a great question while we're working on that link. Oh, there it is right there. Oh, sweet. Cool. I'll pull that up here. So there's a link in the chat that you can get a 14-day trial, and so
I think they cannot see it because it's I can only send messages to organizers. So.
Oh, you're right. I'll put it in the chat. Yep. Thanks for noticing that. I'll put it in the whole audience. So you should have the URL. It's adespresso.com/join-DWM if you want a 14-day trial.
And 30% discount for the first 3 months.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and repeat that. So
if you join through the link that Keith just posted on the chat, you will get 30% discount for the first 3 months of subscription.
Oh, cool. And you can go ahead and click that link, Massimo, so people can see it on your screen. The one that you just have it up, so you can there you go, so people can kind of see what it looks like. Okay, so it's just a little page like that. So the other thing is, okay, so question, Graham has a good question. Does Ad Espresso import campaigns that are currently running? Can we move back and forth between Ads Manager and Ad Espresso?
I would recommend you not to do that, but yeah, we do import most of the campaigns that we find running on your ad account. The experience is not as good as the campaigns that are created in Adespresso, because a lot of our analytics and a lot of our suggestions that we give you are based on split testing, etc. So you will lose a bit of analytics, but you can absolutely import them and you just go on settings, and for each ad account you can enable it. And of course you can execute the optimization rules on the campaigns that you are running, that you created on the ads manager, etc. So you can just switch this to yes, and we are going to import them.
Okay, so yeah, and I know before the call you were asking about like what the level of experience of the people on the webinar, and so Graham is one of those we would consider an expert. He's at like a high level of Facebook ads. So
Right.
he's done a lot of Facebook ads over the last few years. We've got people all over the board though. We've got, like I said, beginners, intermediate, and experts in this group. So a lot of good questions here. So let's see here. If we let's see, I don't see the link. Oh, never mind. That's in there now. Okay. Oh, this is an interesting question. Oh, wait. Do you have a swipe file for your favorite rules that you use? That'd be an interesting one. Actually, that'd be pretty cool.
That's pretty sweet.
We were going to do that actually, but we simply created the automated optimization. So instead of giving you templates for rules, we just created the automated optimization, and that's basically a set of more advanced rules that we update every day for your campaign. So we decided not to go with that because we just released the automated that does everything for you, and you don't have to worry about anything. But maybe at some point we will add it. Honestly, we see probably more than 50% of our users switching to the automatic optimization because it's working so well, it's painless, we take care of finding new strategies to improve your campaign every day. So that's the reason why we don't have that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I think, Tim, you answered kind of this question earlier, but let's a good question is it going to be possible to edit ads created in Facebook at any point?
Yes, on the editing side, that's the part of Adespresso that really sucked until a month ago. We didn't have any editing. Last month we released the editing of the creative. In, I think, a couple of weeks, we are releasing the editing of the creative for imported campaigns. And by the end of October, we will release editing of the targeting options as well. So by the end of October, we will have full editing capabilities. There is one thing that I didn't say and that users should be really careful about. Facebook allows editing of the targeting of your ad, but actually there is no way in Facebook to edit the design of your ad. So we are letting you change that, but what happened in the background is that we are creating another dark post and we are just switching them. We are telling Facebook, look, this ad should promote this post, not the old one. This doesn't create a problem with performances, with anything. It's totally safe. It's how the Power Editor does the editing. But you should remember that it's a new post. When you edit, you are going to lose all the likes, all the shares, or all the comments. So if you have an ad that receives 1,000 likes, that 1,000 like probably has an impact on your performances. Maybe your ad worked better. Remember that if you update it, you are going to lose all those 1,000 likes.
Okay, so that's interesting. Ralph and I got in an argument about this a while back, and yeah, sad to say he was right. And there was.
We are recording this, by the way. Just make sure.
So there was, as part of it, I was right too, because I think the situation in one case was if you create a post on your page, and it's like a post that you publish on your Facebook page, and it's editable, then you won't lose the comments, right? So like if you go in there and you edit it and you change like the targeting in the ads manager, but it's a post that you did in on your page, a lot of times I don't think you won't lose the comments. But that might be changed now too, honestly, because I just did that recently and it seemed like it I did lose some of them, but
Hmm.
oh no, because I don't think I did post that on my page. That's why. So basically, if you create the ad in the Power Editor, the Ads Manager, and then you go and you edit the targeting, you'll lose your comments. But if you post it on your page itself, I don't think you do. That's the only thing. But yeah,
Um,
but that might
I
not
think
be the case now.
I don't have edit here. I think that in the moment in which you start promoting it, you can no longer edit.
Right. Yeah, I know you're
Right.
right. But
Right.
I mean, and I started to say that a second ago. Once you like a video or anything like that, once you hit promote or boost, then you can't edit anymore. They take that away. But if you go in and edit the targeting um, on a post that was published on your page, I don't think you lose the social stuff because it was
No, with the targeting you don't.
right, right,
Because when you edit the targeting, you're editing the ad. You're not editing the post that was promoted.
right.
So this sucks, but there is a very good reason why Facebook is doing this, because marketer could find any possible way to abuse an editing which didn't lose the like. I could simply create an ad with Grumpy Cat, get 5,000 likes on Grumpy Cat, and then edit the ad and start selling at Espresso.
Right.
And I would have social proof of 5,000 likes, while all those people actually never saw an espresso and just click like on Grumpy Cat.
Yep, exactly. It's a totally way to game the system. So, um, okay, so let's see here. How many users? How many users can I have without Espresso? Is a question we've got
Is
from
it?
Tom.
I guess he's talking about Facebook users that you can connect. So we used to have limits on the plan. So we used to say, okay, the base can only have one ad account, the premium can only have three ad account. We totally dropped that 2 weeks ago. You have no limit on the number of users ad account.
Very cool.
We do have a limit on the number of Espresso user, but usually this is a matter only for agencies. So you can add as many Facebook ad accounts as you want. We have an advanced option for agencies mainly, where you can say, okay, Keith as the managing account for this user, and then we are going to create another Espresso account for Ralph, and we are going to say that Ralph only has analytics access. He cannot create campaign. So this is an advanced feature mainly for agencies that are managing multiple customers that need different permission level. And here we do have a limit, which is 0 on the base, 2 on the premium, and 30 on the elite. But I guess the question was about Facebook account.
Okay. I've got a question. I've got a couple more good questions in here too, but uh, what is there anything that, like, give me your, I know, just what is your feedback on maybe the differences between Quia and Espresso, if there
Sure.
is any, and yeah.
Sure, not a problem. Quia is more flexible than an espresso. It's also pretty ugly and complex. So our main goal moving forward, I mean, we are a startup, so of course we have achieved 10% of what we want to do moving forward. Our goal is to make your life easier and to save you a lot of time. Uh, Quia is doing Power Editor Plus, which I don't know if it's bad or if it's wrong. It's a different approach. So if you are really advanced user, you have your own way of advertising, you want to play with every single asset, etc. Quia right now offer a better flexibility than Espresso. But on the other side, is a very complex tool. The rule optimization is not as good as ours, from my point of view, of course, then. That's questionable, and I don't use Quia as much as I use at Espresso. But I think, yeah, that's the main difference. We are really aiming for simplicity, for a very clean and simple user experience. even if that comes at the price of less flexibility. We are giving you a lot of flexibility, but on a very complex, sophisticated product.
Okay, very
I
cool.
will say this on that. Actually, I agree with what Massimo says. I mean, it's if you started on Quia, like I started on Quia, so the way that it's set up makes more sense to me. Um, that's why going back to at Espresso, which I've had for a while, I just haven't really used as much, but I've been using more recently. It still is a little bit harder to use just because I'm used to that different thing, but the benefits are definitely there. The biggest benefit that I find is that the Quia API is just really sluggish, meaning that if you're setting up rules, you can get burnt really fast, and they've done a better job with it, but it just seems like yours is so much faster, it's cleaner. I mean, the interface is a lot prettier. You got that right. But if you're spending a lot and you're relying on those rules and they don't trigger, that you could be in trouble real fast. So that's why I've converted, Massimo.
Yeah.
You've converted me.
Thank you. It's also, moving forward as a long-term strategy, I don't think it makes sense to do the Power Editor Plus because you're putting yourself in direct competition with Facebook. And here I'm talking only from a business standpoint, from our point of view, not from a user perspective. A user has a lot of choice, free trial everywhere, so they can pick the one. But we want to be different because we don't think that we 15 people make sense to try to make a progressive improvement over the Power Editor that has 200 developers.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they've got a leg up on that development, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. So, can you pull that link up again real quick? Because I had a couple people ask about mobile because they weren't able to see the chat in their mobile device. They're all on the webinar.
Sure. So it's espresso.com/
And okay, so another question is, I'll ask. That's another good question too. And there's another one. Let's see here. Yes, we will have a replay for this, of course. Will there be rules based on like relevant score?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
But actually I don't remember if we have them or not. Optimization rules. If we don't, we should.
That's a good question. Who asked that one?
Yeah, we already have it.
I did.
Score. It's not the best word, but we already have it. So it's this option here. If your score is greater than 7.
Oh, cool.
Then stop here. So it's already near. Yeah, sometimes we just screw up with the wording, and this score is not really the best way to say it.
I think I asked that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Yanko's got a question. So how much is Adespresso reliable with so many fast changes coming from Facebook? Right now, there's so much happening inside Facebook. Now I'll let you answer that one too. But one thing about using something like Adespresso, which we've noticed, is usually the partners like Adespresso come out with these features before Facebook does, and a lot of times way before.
Yeah.
But what do you think on that one?
So as of now, as a startup, it's impossible to cover 100% of what Facebook is doing. So we have to pick verticals where we want to be stronger and verticals where maybe we can lag a bit behind. Right now, I would say the only thing that we don't have that Facebook has is the dynamic product ads, which we are working on and we release. In the last 2 months, we have become really good and really fast at keeping up with Facebook. So we have some options that Facebook don't have at all, like all the interest targeting, you don't have it on Facebook. We are closing right now a deal with one of Facebook data partners, and we are going to offer inside Adespresso broad target categories that you don't have in Facebook. And we had Instagram from day one. We will have lead generation ads from day one. So we are really doing a great job right now on keeping up Facebook. And then, yes, there are some options that Facebook give us access before, a long time before they are available on Facebook, and usually we are pretty quick on that one. So I would say you can be safe that we are going to have every feature that Facebook released, at least in the worst case from day zero when it's available to everyone.
Okay, cool, perfect. Yeah. And by the way, that was Yanko who also asked the great question about the relevance score. So he wins the prize
Awesome.
for the best
Well
question.
done.
Let's see here. Did you say no? I think that's. Let's see here. Ralph, do you see any other questions? We're running up on time. I want to kind of don't want to go longer than 90 minutes.
Italians speak too much.
Just more questions about editing, which is that changed, you said about a month ago, Massimo? So
Yeah.
if somebody's been in there 2 months ago or so, that now you can go back in and change ones that are only created in AdEspresso or the legacy ads from other campaigns that's coming next. Is that what you said?
Yeah, you can now, right now you can edit things created in AdEspresso, and in a couple of weeks you can edit everything.
Yeah, that's huge. That's
Okay,
great.
gotcha. And then John's got a question about what about countries not in the U.S.? So he's targeting Latin America. So how will AdEspresso help there?
In the same way it helps
Yeah.
in Latin America. Yesterday we had HubSpot creating campaigns in Japanese on AdEspresso, so it doesn't make any difference for us. You can advertise in any country, in any language, and you will have all the features except for the advanced targeting demographic that Facebook doesn't make available in some countries.
Yeah, the only thing he was talking about, they're different. You might not have access with other countries is the same that you don't have access in the Power Editor or anything else. Is like some of the off line data, like in income and stuff like that. That's what he was talking about.
Facebook itself doesn't have those data, so
Exactly.
there's little that you can do over there.
Okay, so another question from Amit is I have a first month budget of $1,500 and then increase it gradually based on results. So that gets his overall budget. So can I use this? All my ads are click to website, which I believe, yeah, you kind of mentioned something like that at the beginning, right?
You are within the perfect budget for us for starting to use AdEspresso. So absolutely, you can start using it. Makes sense.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think lots of great questions answered. I appreciate you coming on and showing us. Just this was great. We learned a lot. We will post up.
Thank you so much for inviting me, guys. I love your community. I'm part of it, so I was really excited to do this. And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to show AdEspresso to the community.
Cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. Man, this was great. I learned a bunch of stuff, and while you've been doing it, I've been already starting to create campaigns. So that's pretty cool.
So
good stuff.
I recommend everybody getting at least a trial on that. You saw the pricing; it's not expensive. The amount of money that I think you could be losing by not using it could be huge, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. It's even more important for somebody that doesn't have as much experience as we might have, because it's weird. It's like whether if you're an expert and you have a lot of experience, you can be utilizing a lot of the rules and stuff like that at a higher level. But if you're brand new and you get really overwhelmed by the Power Editor, then it's great to use that too. And that's one of the reasons why AdEspresso for someone in that factor is a lot better than something like Quia, because it is easier to it's simpler and cleaner. So that's that too. So I definitely recommend going out and checking out the free trial. The other thing is I'll also post the link to their content, their blog, and then their ad builder in the Facebook group too. So
awesome.
But yeah, cool. So yeah, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. And we will have the recording up soon and talk to everybody soon. Have a good one.
Thank you.
guys.
Ciao.
All right. Thanks. Back.